All right, welcome back in, everyone. It's another episode of Bleav and Vikings for today, Friday, August 1st, and I'm your host, Mike Wobschall, flying solo with you today, but doing so with a big announcement. It's going to be obvious. If you haven't noticed it already, you will very soon, and it's going to naturally dictate some of the conversation we have here at Bleav and Vikings and the Bleav Network. The announcement is a partnership with Fanduel. That's right. Bleav and Fanduel have partnered, which means Fanduel is the title sponsor of this program, Bleav in Vikings. For those of you unfamiliar with Fanduel, put simply, Fanduel makes sports betting easy. You can bet on games, players, and even get a sign-up bonus when creating an account. Go to fanduel.com to get started if you haven't already. Fanduel has everything from Justin Jefferson receiving yards props to JJ McCarthy passing props, plus those same game parlays that let you get creative and give you a chance to make some money. Fanduel's same game parlay menu is deep and impressive, so you can really build some fun combinations around player performances and game outcomes. Also, they are an excellent platform for daily fantasy games. My group of college buddies, we use Fanduel as our platform for our daily fantasy games during the NFL season, and I think you guys should too. Make sure you check them out, Fanduel.com. Also, make sure you subscribe to Bleav in Vikings if you aren't already. We are on YouTube and wherever you find all your other favorite podcasts. Subscribing helps us out a ton, and it makes it easy for you to find the latest episodes and content from Bleav in Vikings. On tap for today, we have two quick things. Two Vikings bets, one player prop and one total that I really like and I want you to consider over at Fanduel, fanduel.com. And then one underrated but important part of this season for JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. We will begin with the two bets or two wagers that I came upon that I want you to consider. And they both pertain to the Minnesota Vikings. I was perusing Fanduel, and I landed on these two intriguing wagers for the Vikings. The first one is the NFL season-long prop for player to lead the NFL in receiving touchdowns. So when you look at Fanduel, at the odds for this, we'll go with the top six at Fanduel. Now, it could be someone outside of the top six, of course. It could be someone with super long odds, someone at 20-1 or 30-1, right? It could be, someone that you're not expecting. It could be Michael Pittman in Indianapolis, right? Jaden Reed in Green Bay, DJ Moore in Chicago. It could be someone from way outside. But let's look at the top six. The odds-on favorite at Fanduel to lead the NFL in receiving touchdowns is Jamar Chase at 6.5-1. Then it's Amon-Ra St. Brown at 13-1, Mike Evans 14-1, Davante Adams 16-1, Tyreek Hill 15-1. No, I have not gotten to Justin Jefferson yet, and that's not a mistake. It's not a mistake because he's sixth on Fanduel's list at 17-1. And that's what I want you to consider at Fanduel right now is the season-long receiving touchdown leader prop to be Justin Jefferson at 17-1. And here's why. Here's the number of touchdowns the leading receiver has had in the NFL since 2020. Last year, Jamar Chase, 17. 2023, Mike Evans and Tyreek Hill, 14. Davante Adams in 2022, 14. Cooper Kupp, 16 in 2021, and then Davante Adams again, 18 in 2020. So look at that group: Chase, Evans, Hill, Adams, and Kupp. These guys have dominated the receiving touchdown and yardage rankings since 2020. I think it's time for some fresh blood. The question is, do you think JJ McCarthy in his first year as the starter for the Vikings can find Justin Jefferson 16 times in 17 games for a touchdown? It's a lot, nearly one per game, but this is something that's within reach for Justin Jefferson. We've watched him now for half a decade, and we know that he is game for this type of production. Yes, it's McCarthy's first year as a starter, but you know he's going to be looking for JJ. JJ is going to be looking for JJ. You know that. You know Kevin O'Connell is going to be drawing up plays for Justin Jefferson with a young quarterback running the show. Jordan Addison's going to miss a few games, most likely due to a suspension. Justin Jefferson never misses any games. Jefferson has never led the NFL in touchdown catches in a season. That seems odd, doesn't it, for a player that caliber, a player that good, a player that productive? Just seems like at least one time in his career, Justin Jefferson's going to lead the NFL in touchdowns in a single season, at least once. And he's no spring chicken anymore. It's time for him to do it. If not now, I don't know if he is going to be able to do it. So it could be this year, and it's worth a shot at 17-1. I mean, fast forward to February. If I told you, hey, Justin Jefferson led the NFL in touchdown receptions this year, are you surprised? You'd be like, no, it's Justin Jefferson. But if I said to you, hey, Justin Jefferson, the guy who led the NFL in receiving touchdowns this year, yeah, he was 17-1 to do it. Yeah, that would surprise you. And that's why you should hop on this one over at Fanduel. All right. The total that I like, it's in week 1, and it's the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I know we haven't seen a preseason game yet, but the odds are so favorable right now on this one. The number is I think so far off of where it should be right now that I think you should jump on it early before the preseason even starts, even though it's a week 1 game. It's Vikings and it's Bears, week 1, Monday Night Football. FanDuel lists the total for this game at 43.5. The over-under for this game is 43.5. And I love the over on this one. Granted, it's JJ McCarthy in his first season. It's his first start. It's Monday Night Football. It's on the road. It's Ben Johnson, new head coach, first game. There's little tangents, little angles here that aren't favorable, but they're little. They're little angles that aren't favorable. The Vikings and Bears last year in 2 games combined for 57 points and 42 points. And I think the Vikings are not worse on offense than they were last year, notwithstanding the fact that JJ McCarthy is going to be starting his first game. So the supporting cast is so good for Minnesota. The head coach is so good in Minnesota. The OC is returning in Minnesota. So the Vikings are no worse on offense, and the Bears are better. The Bears have their young quarterback with a year of experience under his belt compared to last year. They still have DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Cole Kmet. They've added Colston Loveland, a draft pick, a high-round draft pick, and they added Luther Burden, a receiver in the draft. And they have Ben Johnson now as their head coach, who was torching teams as offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He comes over now and adds some of his influence. The Bears are way better, I think, on offense right now than they were a year ago. And the Vikings and Bears were 1.5 points short of this number in their second game last year and way over this number in overtime in the first game last season. 43.5. Give me the over 43.5 for Vikings Bears in week 1. Jump on that right now at FanDuel. Because once a bunch of people start doing that, which they should, that number's going up. That number's going up to the key number of 44.5, I believe. When this game kicks off, this number is going to be at 44 or 44.5. And this is not the traditional NFC Central, NFC North, Vikings, Bears, Soldier Field, gritty, grindy bloodbath. This is JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. This is Ben Johnson and Kevin O'Connell. This is Monday Night Football Week 1 season opener fireworks. It's going over 43.5. I think you should jump on it. All right. Let's talk about the Vikings as a team here for the season. Broad view, high-level view. I was chatting with Martin Nance, the Vikings chief marketing officer, at the 3M Open last week, and we were talking about a bunch of things. But, of course, we landed on just the team in general, how it's looking, and JJ McCarthy. And Martin Nance, he's got marketing chops right now as the team's chief marketing officer, but he played in the NFL for the Vikings. He was a receiver. He knows what it's like for a franchise to have a young quarterback that it's hoping it can develop into its guy, the franchise guy. And that's what the Vikings are currently doing with JJ McCarthy. So it was a good conversation with Martin Nance. And one thing that he and I were talking about it, and I was trying to make this point to him, and I'm going to make it to you right now, is so often in the NFL with franchise quarterbacks, you get into this situation where it's not like a legitimate, no doubt about it, it's getting hit over your head over and over again. This guy is the guy. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Those are awesome. But those guys are fewer and further between than the guys that are, you just don't know about it yet, right? Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence. And I'm putting JJ McCarthy now into this mix. Zach Wilson. You just never really knew. It wasn't working out, but you always wondered, did we give him a fair shot? Does he need a little more time? Do we need to surround him with more weapons? Is the offensive line good enough? Does the offensive coordinator know what he's doing? Is the head coach calling the right plays? There's all these, gray area factors that you can use to defend the quarterback for not being as developed as he should be at that point in time. And this causes a slowdown, a delay in the team's decision to invest in the quarterback because they know he's the right guy, or to not invest in him, to let him go and to move on. And worst case scenario, it can cause a team to believe in the quarterback even though they shouldn't, and invest in him because the clock was ticking on a new contract. And so they gave it to him because they didn't want to get into the last year of the deal or let him hit the market. And they made a bad decision because they believed in him, because they gave him the benefit of the doubt, because the supporting cast or some of those other factors weren't great. This is not going to happen for the Vikings with JJ McCarthy. It is not. It's going to be a quick decision, and it's probably going to be the right decision because it's going to be obvious. There's none of those gray area. There's none of those factors that we don't know about that might not be good enough. The head coach is good. He calls the right plays. He designs plays brilliantly. He gets guys open. He gets Justin Jefferson, who the defense is keying on, in wide open space. No one's in 15 yards of him. I could hit him. He's daring and brave in his play calling. He wants to light the scoreboard up. He wants to air it out. So the head coach is good. The offensive coordinator returns. There's continuity there. So the coaching staff's in place, no doubt about it. You have Justin Jefferson, who is the best or second best receiver in the NFL. You have TJ Hawkinson. You have Jordan Addison. You have Aaron Jones. You have Jordan Mason. I mean, the weapons, the pass-catching weapons are there and are not a problem. The offensive line, I think this is about as good as we've felt about an offensive line in Minnesota going into a season since 2009, since 98, 99. Will Fries, Ryan Kelly signed in free agency. Donovan Jackson drafted in the first round. You have stalwarts at left tackle and right tackle. At left tackle, once Christian Darrisaw is healthy. I mean, the O-line is good. So that's not a factor. That's not a gray area. That's not a question. It's there for JJ McCarthy. The table is set for him. And I'm not saying it this way to put pressure on McCarthy to be good. There's already enough pressure on him. I am making the point that very, very soon in JJ McCarthy's on-field tenure, which just started in training camp this week, like halfway through the season, maybe after a full season, we're going to know. It's not going to take 2 or 3 seasons like we waited on Tavares Jackson, God rest his soul, like the Jets waited on Zach Wilson, like the Jaguars were waiting on Trevor Lawrence and then gave him the big deal, even though I don't know if they should have. And this is not happening with JJ McCarthy. We're going to know. We're going to know if the offense is not humming at any point during this season, and there weren't any devastating injuries, any factors like that came into play. If everyone's healthy, if there's nothing that comes in here that we're not foreseeing, if it's all systems go and this offense isn't humming and McCarthy's struggling, it's pretty clear he's not the guy. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but you're not going to need 3 or 4 seasons before you decide if McCarthy can do it or not. You're going to know very, very soon, and that's a good thing for the Minnesota Vikings. That's going to do it for today's episode of Bleav in Vikings. We hope you enjoyed the new look with our partnership with Fanduel. We encourage you to like, follow, and subscribe to Bleav in Vikings. Once you do that, all of our content delivered straight to you. It makes it easier to find our content, and it helps us out a lot as we try and grow Bleav in Vikings. On behalf of everyone at the Bleav Network and here at Bleav in Vikings, this is Wobby signing off for now. Until next time, everyone, always remember, keep believing.